If there are two words that make me feel uncomfortable when thinking about my younger years in life, they would be alphabetical order. I was always last because my name begins with a Z and then a W. Very few would be behind me. So when it came to school and teacher would give back a test, I'd be the last one to get my test back. Sometimes that was a good thing. If they were doing something exciting in school or in camp, it would tend to be that I would be the last one who would end up doing it because it would be in alphabetical order. And by the time they got to me, it wouldn't be as exciting anymore. And it finally culminated with the Chag HaSmicha, when we received Smicha ordination from Yeshiva University. It was this great big celebration. The auditorium was full. And the master of ceremonies started calling up the name of each rabbi. And as they called up each rabbi, there was this, great applause. But you saw when they got to like the third or fourth rabbi, it wasn't as great of applause as the first one. And finally, when it got to number 5, the MC just said, we're never going to get out of here. Let's just please everyone hold your applause till the very end. And only after I call the last name, please applaud. And finally, after all of those years, my time came that there were no applause when all the other names were called, except when finally my name was called. There was this great applause, and that everyone was applauding not simply for me, but for everyone. But it was an advantage to my being the last name. And the reason why I mention that is that the Torah begins in Webdvar Behaaloscha with the image of Aaron HaKohen standing at the Mishkan and seemed to be looking down. Rashi explains and says, Chalsha az dato, that it was chalash, his mindset, his thinking became weak. In other words, emotionally, it seemed that Aaron was down, and Rashi explains, because at the end of last week's Parsha, we read about the Nesiim, all of the princes of each tribe that brought their offerings to the Mishkan as celebration, and Aaron is sitting and watching this, and he wasn't counted among them, not him and not his tribe. And then it's finished, and he's just standing there and saying, well, what am I supposed to do? And then Hashem says to Moshe, tell Aaron that he's going to light the candles, that although the Nesiim, they did something when it came to the inauguration of the Mishkan, but Aaron is going to be involved in the Mishkan every single day, and that he should realize that his place, his role is going to be greater than theirs. And not that it's a competition, but there are times in life when we think to ourselves, when am I going to get there? When am I going to get to that level that I've always strived for, that I've always dreamed for? And sometimes we get down in ourselves. We didn't get the job that we wanted. We didn't get the promotion that we wanted. We weren't successful in something that we wanted to do. We didn't score well on an exam. We didn't get the engagement into a relationship with a person that we wanted to. And that's a time to think of Aaron HaKohen. Chalsha azdato, when Aaron became sad, Hashem told him, your time will come. And as the Mishnah in Pirkei Avos tells us, the time will come for every person. Ein ha'adam she'ein lo sha'a. There is no such human being that doesn't have their time, that doesn't have their moment. And so when we face these challenges, let us pick up our heads a little bit. Let us remember the lighting of the candles. Let us look at the candles of the Shabbos candles and think of the menorah and think of Aaron, that his time, just as his time, eventually came, albeit he didn't realize it, he didn't know, but when it came, he certainly was happy. So too, when it comes to us and our challenges, our time will come too, when ultimately we'll be successful. Thank you for listening, and have a good Shabbos.